Hello, everyone, and welcome to this third episode of the Gaming Garden podcast, where we discuss everything related to farming games and also other types of cozy games. My name is Josh, I'm your host, and I made sure to specify other types of cozy games because today I am joined by a content creator who I feel like she covers a much wider range of games than I do. So, not just farming sims, but also cozy puzzle games, cozy narrative driven games. So, we'll have a lot to talk about with her. Her name is Ellie from the Cozy Gaming Club. Ellie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Josh. It's so cool to be on your podcast. I've watched the last two episodes and they're really fun.
Thank you. So, for those who don't know you, would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself and the Cozy Gaming Club, what you do?
Yeah, of course. Hi, I'm Ellie. I run the Cozy Gaming Club on sort of YouTube, TikTok, and Discord. And there we just talk about all the new and latest cozy games and also the greatest cozy games. I got into cozy games quite late. I think I first started gaming when I was sort of 18, 19. And I really want to sort of discover new games, but also look back at older games that I didn't play because I just wasn't gaming when they first released.
That's amazing. I had no idea actually you started gaming a little bit later in life. Well, 18 is still young, but you started later than a lot of us. So I'm sure it gives you like a different perspective on a lot of games. And yeah, notice so your main platforms are YouTube. I also see that your TikTok channel is your TikTok, I mean, is doing pretty good as well. So what would you say is like
Thank
your
you.
main?
So I do love TikTok. I like being able to make short and quick videos where I can cover sort of the latest games that released. For example, yesterday I was able to put out a video on Cattle Country within an hour of it releasing, and it's amazing that TikTok lets me do that. But I also love doing longer videos on YouTube where I can sort of talk more about the games because TikTok is kind of a short form platform. You can't really share much about the game because the algorithm penalizes you for making longer videos.
That's amazing. So I'll make sure to put all of your links in the description. And one thing I love about you is that you do play a lot of different games. And there are so many games to talk about today in this episode. So we're going to start, as usual, with all of the releases of this week. And then, because we're kind of halfway through the year, we will discuss our favorite cozy games of 2024 so far. So, if you guys are looking for new games to play, you may find little gems in there. And at the end, we'll cover some smaller news. And there's quite a few interesting news to talk about. So, let's get started with the releases of this week. And the first game is Cozy Grove Camp Spirit, which released on June 25th, so Tuesday, on Netflix Games. So you can play it on iOS or Android, but you do need a Netflix subscription to play this game. Ellie, have you played Cozy Grove Camp Spirit?
I haven't because I don't have a Netflix subscription, but I did love the original Cozy Grove. I've played so many hours of that. It kind of became my lunchtime game to ensure I take a lunch break because I'm sure, like a lot of people, I am really bad for remembering to take a lunch break.
Yes, I do. Actually, I've been playing this game in the last week, and it is very similar to the first Cozy Grove. So, if anyone is not familiar with Cozy Grove, it's a game similar to Animal Crossing that you can play a little bit every day because it is based on real time, and there's usually a limit of quests and tasks that you can accomplish in a day. And basically, you're this scout that arrives on an island, and you will meet these different spirits, and you will help them find items. So there's a lot of like just walking around the island, trying to find certain items. There's also fishing, bug catching, a little bit of crafting. The second game is very similar to the first one. So it is included in any Netflix subscription. So you don't have to pay any extra for the game. There's also no microtransaction. And yeah, so far I've been having a good time with it. I think if anyone likes the first Cozy Grove, they will enjoy this one. But I'm not too sure how much it adds. It's been a while since I played the first game, so it's a bit hard for me to tell. I feel like it's more of the first game. It's just more story, more content, but it is overall. If you play the first game, you will feel at home with Camp Spirit.
One of the things I saw is that they added power washing, which is an interesting thing. Have you done that part of the game yet?
Yes, so that is one addition. And so basically you have this little fish. It's like a little toy fish that you use. And sometimes things will get dusty around the island. So you just like you just tap and drag on your screen, and you will just wash the things.
Yeah.
And then you get rewarded with some coins and some essences that you can use for crafting and getting new pets and things like that. And the more you progress, the more the island expands. So you get new areas, you can decorate. So it is very fun. I feel like if you already have a Netflix subscription, it's definitely worth checking out.
How are the new spirits? Are they different, or are they the same spirits? Well, you haven't played in a while, but maybe you remember.
There are some characters coming back from the first game. So, for example, there is Flamey, like the little flame is the same. There is Mr. Kit, who's like the shopkeeper. He's the same. I think most of the spirits are different. There might. I'm not too sure about the spirits because it's been so long since I played the first game.
Yeah.
So you'll definitely see new stories. So every spirit has their own like things that they're dealing with, and you get to know them as you help them and learn about their personality and their struggles. And yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I hope they bring it to other consoles as well as just Netflix.
I hope so. So far, because it's published by Netflix Games, so far it's really just on Netflix. There's no plans for consoles, but it would be really fun to play it on Steam or play it on console. Like the first game was on the Switch, I know. So maybe in the future, if enough people ask for it, who knows?
Yeah, hopefully it's like EGS and it's an exclusive for a year or something.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to stay tuned. Another game that, well, this one is not a new release. It is an update for Lightyear Frontier. Have you played this game a little bit?
So I played the demo for it during Steam Next Fest when it was out then. It made me feel a little bit motion sick though, I think because just of the way it looks.
Oh no. I know you can play in third person. Have you tried? Maybe it would help.
I didn't know there was a third person mode when I played it.
Yeah, it took me a while to find it, but if you press the middle mouse button, the wheel, it puts you in third person mode. So maybe you can give it a second chance. But basically, it's a foreign game where you're inside a mech. So you have this big robot and you explore a new planet that you crashed on, and you have to remove some pollution, clean up the planet. You also build a farm. You can decorate, and it is very fun. It is in early access right now. I've played it for maybe between 10 to 15 hours, and I kind of reached the end of the story. So there's not too much content yet, but they are working on adding content. So the last update is called Making It Home, and it adds new decor. They also added a little ball that you can throw, and like, because this game does support multiplayer, so you can play with friends. I played by myself, so there's not too much I could do with the ball by myself. But yeah, you can play it with friends, and it's such a beautiful game. I love when it rains and you can see the rain on your windshield, and it's just like a very nice atmosphere. But I feel like I'm taking a little break from this game since there's not too much content. I'm just waiting for more update. But I went back for that new update. There's like, yeah, as I said, house decor, a few more upgrades for a mech, and it's pretty fun. It's also on Game Pass. If you have a Game Pass subscription, you can play it for free. Well, included.
That's great.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to give it another go.
You should. There's another release this week, and it's Tchia, which was on the PlayStation 5, I believe. It was on PC, but it's now coming to the Switch. Actually, today, June 27th.
Yeah.
Have you played this game a little bit?
Yes, I played it when it first came out on PlayStation. It was an amazing game. I think I ranked it A on my rank list for 2023.
Yeah, what did you like about it?
I just really enjoyed turning into all the different animals and just sort of running around or swimming around as animals. I loved that you could literally anything you saw, you could turn into it pretty much, which was really cool. And I also spent so long trying to work out the treasure hunt. So there's like a hidden treasure hunt in the game that you can just stumble across. And I spent so long trying to solve all the hints and puzzles to find all the treasure chests, which I just loved. It wasn't even related to the main story. It's just cool that they added it in.
Nice. Yeah, I played it a little bit when it first came out on PC. Definitely being able to transform, I think they call it soul jumping, or like take control of the different animals. It makes the exploration so much fun because it is an open world game. The world is pretty big. There's a lot to explore.
Yeah.
So it's fun to like explore as a fish or like as a bird. Make things a lot more fun. And one thing I loved about this game too was the story. And this game takes place in an island inspired by New Caledonia. And I just loved seeing all of the culture, the languages. The voiceover was really good. There's some parts that are in French, some parts are in Drehu, I believe, which is one of the native languages of New Caledonia. And I just loved the characters, the story, and I'm tempted to give it another try on the Switch. We are seeing, if you're watching on YouTube, we are seeing some gameplay footage of the Switch version. It does look a bit more rough than on PC, but it doesn't look too bad. And it seems, I mean, it's hard to tell with the trailer. It seems to be running well. So that's my biggest
Yeah.
concern with like big open world games like these. I'm wondering how it's gonna run on the Switch.
Yeah, you're always taking a risk of a Switch port, aren't you?
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll have to give it a try. If any listeners have played the Switch version, please let us know how it goes. Next, we have a DLC for a little to the left. The DLC is called Seeing Stars. Have you played the DLC?
I haven't played much of it. I had a little go at it this morning to prepare for the podcast today. It is difficult.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like they've really gone all out with this DLC. Some of the puzzles have like 5 solutions to just the one puzzle. So you've really got to think hard to try and find every solution.
Nice. So I've not played the DLC. I've played a little bit of the base game. I did like a part of the first chapter. If someone is not familiar with this game, it reminds me of Unpacking a little bit. Like, I feel like it has a similar vibe, but you have different scenarios, different levels, and you have to organize things like from the smallest to the biggest, or like place things in order. And there's definitely a little puzzle element because sometimes it's not clear what you have to
Yeah.
do, and you have to kind of figure it out. But yeah, it is quite fun. So I think I'll have to maybe get back into it, play it a little bit more, and check out the DLC. I believe the DLC adds something like 100 levels.
I think it's something like 38 levels,
Oh,
but
never mind.
100
38. Okay.
solutions.
Oh, 100 solution. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have to do like the different solutions for each level? Do you get like extra points if you do the different solutions, or?
Yeah, you get like extra stars. So you don't have to
Oh,
do
okay.
it, but you can do it if you want to try and challenge yourself.
So these were the new releases for this week. So it's a pretty quiet week. Pretty much the only completely new game we've got was Cozy Grove Camp Spirit. But I think it's a good time to talk about everything else that we've played this year, since we're halfway through 2024 already. Time is flying by so fast, I can't believe it. And you've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of games. What is one that stood out the most to you? Which one would you like to start with?
Yeah, I'll start with a game that I've said so far is my game of the year, which is Little Known Galaxy. I was so obsessed with this game when I started playing it. I think I played like 20 to 30 hours in the first week when I got access to it. It's just an amazing new take on the farming sim genre. I feel like they did a great job at doing farming in space, but not just sticking to farming stereotypes. They've kind of expanded it and actually fully accepted this space idea and created loads of fun new mini games to do with it.
Yes, I think that's what I like the most about this game, because we see a lot of farming games that try different themes, but it just
Yeah.
feels like a different coat of paint on top of the same game. But you can feel that with Little Known Galaxy, they really lean into the space theme. So, for example, instead of fishing, like a similar mechanic is like finding little microbes with
Yeah.
your scanner, and then you have this little kind of like rhythm mini game that happens. instead of going mining like you would in other games, you go on different planets and you mine and you dig, but on different planets with different resources. All the planets have a completely different theme. On different planets, you'll also be able to buy new types of seeds, and you actually get to travel with your spaceship. You live on the spaceship, which is also quite unique. The cast of characters is so fun. The art style, everything feels so polished too. That's one thing I love. Like all the little animations, the little sound effects. It's such a game that's easy to lose hours into and just get immersed into
I
it.
definitely agree.
Yes. I'm about 10 to 15 hours in this
Mhm.
game. I've been busy with lots of other things, but I definitely want to go back to it. Do you have a review on your channel of this game or
Um, I have a sort of 50 days overview on my channel and then a tips and tricks video as well to help people get started.
That's amazing. So, listeners, you should definitely check out Ellie's channel for that because I streamed the game a few times, but I did not have time to make any kind of video content. So, honestly, this game was on my list as well. It was also, we picked 4 games each. That was also one of my favorites this year. It really stood out to me, and I feel like it's going to be a good game for years to come. Hopefully, it doesn't get forgotten. And there are also the developers. This game is being made by 2 people,
Yeah.
Carbon and K, and they're still updating the game, adding a bit of content, fixing some bugs. But I've not had any issues with bugs, to be fair. It already
Yeah.
feels so nice and polished. So
I
little
didn't have
known,
any
yeah,
issues either. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
I
that's
was just
amazing. So for me, one game, one of the first games that I played this year, I believe it came out in January, is Pixel Cross Story of Seasons. I'm obsessed with this game. Like it's such a small, it's a puzzle game where you do nonograms. So you have a square and you have little hints with numbers telling you how many sequences and how many squares you have to fill up in the picture, and then you fill up the picture, and then once you're done, it's gonna reveal one character or one thing from the Story of Season series, and it's also fun to try to guess what it's gonna be as you try to do the little puzzle. And I don't know, I just love this game so much. It's so easy to just grab, do one little puzzle if you have like 10 to 15 minutes. Once your puzzle is done, you can go back to whatever you were doing. I also love playing it before going to bed. I know it's just so relaxing and easy to pick up. It's available on Switch, it's available on Steam. It's a pretty simple game, but I feel like if you love Story of Seasons, you love the characters, and also as you play, your farm will upgrade a little bit. But it's really just a puzzle game, but I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it and I play it almost every day. Eddie, have you played this game?
okay. This is so funny because I almost put this game on my list
Oh,
because I also started playing this when it released and I was obsessed with it. I could not put it down. I have completed every level in it, like all the puzzles. I've done them all because I was just addicted to it. Yeah, and also I haven't played Story of Seasons, so I would argue that it's good for people who haven't played Story of Seasons either, but like farming sims and like nonogram puzzles. One of the really cool things for me was that it changes seasons in the game when you complete puzzles as well. So you get to see your farm in the different seasons. You can't interact with it, but it's still really cool to see the passage of time and your farm developing while you just solve the little puzzles.
yeah. Well, I'm so surprised. I had no idea you you played it and you liked it that much. Even though you're not necessarily a Story of Seasons fan, so you've never played a Story of Seasons game.
No.
Are you planning to? You're missing out.
I'm considering it because obviously they're releasing all the remasters on PC and things now.
Yeah,
So I am considering picking them up, but they are quite expensive compared to the other farming games that are releasing on PC. So maybe one day I'll give it a go and try one.
that's
If
true.
I did,
Yeah.
which one would you recommend?
It really depends on what you're looking for. Um, I feel like if you want a classic, Friends of Mineral Town is a good one, but it can also feel a little bit too simple if you're used to like more modern farming games that have more mechanics. So if you want more in terms of gameplay, maybe Olive Town would be a
Okay.
good one, Pioneers of Town, to start with. It doesn't have the most interesting characters or festivals, but I feel like it has a lot of content and like it keeps you so busy every day. It really depends. There's just so many great games and they're all different. Too, if you want something slower paced, where your focus is raising a family, then A Wonderful Life is really
Mhm.
good. It's definitely slower paced. There's not as much to do. The days are longer, but it's beautiful. It's just relaxing. So it really depends on your mood.
Okay.
But yeah, well, you already know the characters now, so that's
I
good.
do.
Yeah, you're familiar with them already. So yeah, Pixel Cross Story of Seasons. Check it out, listeners. And what is another game that made your favorites so far?
Yeah, let's talk about Minami Lane next, which is kind of like to call it like a introduction to management games because it's quite a simple management game. You're not managing a lot of things, you're just managing one street compared to more complicated games. And also it's really cute, which is a big selling point.
Yeah, it is really cute. I also loved that game. I considered putting it on my list. The only thing is that it is very short.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
think the price, I think it's only £5 in the UK, so it's quite cheap as well to make up for that.
that is true. That is true. It is a very affordable game. It's about $5. Same with Pixel Cross Story of Seasons is $10. So if
Mhm.
you're looking for an affordable game that will keep you busy for a while, that's a good one. But yeah, Minami Lane, though, even though it is a short experience, it's so nice. The art
Yeah.
is so beautiful. The town, just the little animations, the little characters. And as you said, it is a good introduction to management games because it is quite simple. So you open different shops and then you can, for example, you make some ramen and then you can add some eggs or add more
Mhm.
noodles. And then you'll have different types of villagers, like young people or elderly people, and they will tell you, oh, there's too many eggs or there's not enough noodles. And then you have to adjust to please everybody. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much the only management. It's very simple. But it's definitely, if you're looking for a short experience that's going to keep you entertained for like an afternoon or a whole weekend, and it's coming to the Switch very soon too. There's no date. Well,
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 to 3 hours to complete the game, but it's really sweet, and you just saw the couple on the screen there. It was their first game that they worked on together, which I think is really nice as well. They just made a game together in their free time.
It is. I think they made it in about 6 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love these stories. That's one thing I love about indie games, like seeing stories of people making a game together or as a couple or with some friends and seeing that they were able to make this in 6 months is pretty impressive. Even though it is a short game, it is quite impressive. So if you have not played Minami Lane, please check it out. We're going back to farming sims for my next game, Echoes of the Plum Grove. So this is a farming sim. At first glance, it looks super cute. It has this art style similar to Paper Mario with the 2D characters, and it's very colorful, cute. But the developers describe this game as cozy with consequences because you're in the colonial era and the world is dangerous. So there are some illnesses going around. So you can get like malaria or like I can't think of the other diseases, but there's a bunch of diseases that you can catch when the tourists are coming in, and they will spread around, eliminate the villagers, maybe eliminate your own character, and if you die, it is game over. So a big part of this game is making sure you have someone to take over your legacy. So you have to get married, have a child, or someone that will take over. Because even if you don't get sick, you will eventually die of old age. And I just love the drama in this game. I feel like whenever I played it, there was always something funny happening, or like you're trying to marry someone and then they die just the day before, or like your children pass away, and it's very, I don't know if it's cozy. There are different settings actually. You can turn off the illnesses, you can turn off aging, but I like to play with all of these settings on because that's how the game was designed. And I just love how intense it is. And it's also, I don't know, it's just so cute. I've been loving this game so much. I have like 60 something hours in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Have you played it?
So I haven't played this one. It came out in a time when there were so many other games releasing, and I decided to give it a miss. And then I saw everyone covering it. I watched your 50 days video, the first part, and it looked amazing. I watched Iona play it and watched her poison someone, which is just so ridiculous. It looks amazing though. I do need to go back and play it when I find the time.
You have to, yes. And they're still updating the game. One thing I will say is that there are a few bugs. Um, they're polishing it more and more. But for example, in my house, there's this table and I put a cake tray on it. And then I upgraded my house, and now I can't remove that table anymore. So I can't have this table stuck in the middle of my room and I can't like move things around. So there are a few bugs, but it's also another one of these games that has been made by a couple, just two people that have been working on this game for like 5 years or something like
Wow.
that, like for a very long time. Uh, you can tell they were very passionate about it. And yeah, right now it's on PC. I hope eventually it comes out on consoles. It would be fun, but because
Yeah.
it's a small team, it would be a lot of work for them. But I hope one day that could happen.
Hopefully. I mean, if it's selling as well as it is, it's doing amazing.
Yeah, it seems to be doing well. I've seen a lot of people covering it, and it's hard releasing games nowadays because there's just so many games. Like you said, when it came out, you couldn't play it because there were so many other games. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't go forgotten, and hopefully it does well in the long term. What's your next game, Ellie?
Yeah, the next game I'd like to talk about is called Little Kitty Big City. It's kind of just a funny little game about a cat who falls out the window in the middle of its morning nap and gets lost in the big city trying to find its way home. It's a kind of an open world adventure game. There are lots of silly things you can do. You can dress up the kitty, you can trip up people. There are little quests for you to do. And also there's a fun side quest as well. And it's just really cute.
It is very cute. I played this game for the first time maybe 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I played it on a live stream for about an hour. It is very cute. I love the art style. The game reminds me
Yeah.
of Stray, but like a cute version of Stray,
Yeah.
like a cute and colorful version of Stray. And reminds me a little bit of Untitled Goose Game as well, because you're just like causing chaos, making people
Yeah.
fall, and like making jars of jam fall all over the floor in a store. And there's
Yeah.
just, it's very fun. And there's also, if you love collecting in games, there's lots of
Mhm.
like hats, there's lots of like, you have to find like a little chameleon that goes to a different place every time. If you love like, yeah, just collecting, platforming. It's also one of these shorter games. I don't know. Have you finished it?
So I was almost finished with it. It took me about 2 hours and I just collected the last fish when my game glitched out and I got stuck in a wall and couldn't go to the end. But I was just about to finish it, which is really sad.
Oh no. Well, at least. Oh no. That's a shame. Hopefully they fixed it.
Yes, they
Hopefully.
have patched that bug now. I did see the patch notes that said they'd fixed it in an update about a week or two after launch. I just haven't had the chance or the like heart to go back again and have to restart from the beginning.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's. Oh wait. So you can't just reload your save file and like it's fixed.
No, I
Oh.
don't think so. Unless they added a way you can sort of like unstick yourself, but I am literally stuck in an area that I cannot get out of because I like glitch through a wall.
Oh no. I thought the fix would like teleport you outside of it. Oh no. Oh, that's a shame. Especially if you're at the end, it's hard to find the motivation to start
Yeah.
all over again. Especially like these kind of short games. Sometimes you like to play them all in one sitting. So if you already had done so much, that is a shame. But I'm glad you still had a good time with it. It still made it to your top of the year so far. So it is good platformer, good little cozy
Yeah, I
game.
definitely still recommend it. It's still lots of fun. and just ridiculous and hilarious. And I had a great time playing it.
Nice. I'll have to go back to it. I'll have to definitely go back to it and try to finish it. Another
This
game.
whole podcast,
Huh?
I was going to say, this whole podcast is just you and me making a list of games we have to go back to.
Yes, exactly. And I hope it helps you listeners as well to I'm sure there's lots of these games that you've probably started, you forgot about, and hopefully listening to the podcast will give you the little motivation that you need to go back to these games. And one game that I also feel like I need to go back to, but I've been playing it quite a lot, is Endless Ocean Luminous. So this is the newest entry in the Endless Ocean series that started on the Nintendo Wii. And basically you dive, you take pictures of fish, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you do in this game. You just dive, you see different fish, and that's why I love this game. I know it didn't get the most amazing reviews because there's not like the gameplay is not very diverse, but it's so relaxing, kind of like Pixel Cross the Rev Seasons. It's one of these games that I like to pick up and play 20 minutes. I do one little dive and like before going to bed or something. It's very mindless as well. You can play this while listening to a podcast or like watching something. And it has multiplayer, so you can dive with your friends. It's very seamless how the multiplayer works, and it's up to 30 players online. Have you played it?
No, I actually don't own a Nintendo Switch.
Oh no.
So I haven't been able to play this one because it's Switch only, but I have watched a few people play it, and I definitely understand where you're coming from because it does look very relaxing, but it is just diving and taking photos of fish. So it might not appeal to some people who need a bit more gameplay mechanics in it.
Yeah, for sure. I wish there was something similar on PC because there's like there are games about diving on PC like Subnautica, but
Yeah.
these games are not really in the cozy genre because they have survival elements and they can be like a little bit creepy. So it would be nice to
Yeah.
get maybe Lolnut would feel a bit
Yeah.
similar because you have a little bit of exploration.
I think I would say, while it's not fishing or underwater, I'd say Power Wash Sim is quite similar because it is that same repetitive yet relaxing sort of gameplay,
That's
maybe.
true, actually. Yes. So, are you planning to get a Switch now that the Switch is about to? The
Um,
Switch 2 is coming.
I'm waiting for Switch 2, I think.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes, I'll probably pick one of those up because I was considering getting one. And then they announced Switch 2, and I thought, oh, well, I'll wait.
Yeah. I had no idea you didn't have a Switch. Well, that's good. That's good. Like nowadays, so many games are releasing on PC as well. So amazing. You still get to play lots of things. And so the next game, the last game on your top list of 2024 so far, what is it?
Yeah, my last game is Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. It's another shorter game. I think it takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to complete. But you play as a little duck trying to work out who's been stealing all the salami from this little bus depot.
Interesting. I don't know too much about this game. So what? I've never heard of it, or like I really don't know anything. So what is the gameplay like?
Okay, so it's sort of like noir. Do you know like old detective films where they talk of like a really like, I don't know, I received my last paycheck and spent it all on alcohol or something like that. So he's
Yeah.
like a down on his luck duck. He's just been divorced. He's got an addiction to bread rather than alcohol. And this is his first job right before he's about to run out of rent money. And so you have to solve this case. So he goes to this bus depot, he meets all the people there and all the employees, and you've been paid to work out who's stealing all this food and end up uncovering a much bigger conspiracy. The great thing about it is that it's fully voice acted. So all of the characters have these amazing voices that you can listen to as you play along. There is a lot of talking because they're giving you a lot of information when you play. But so that really helps with that. But it's just a great little game. It's also that Paper Mario art style that you had in Echoes of the Plum Grove as well, which is quite cool. And this sort of investigation thing is they give you sentences that you have to complete from the information that you get from talking to the different characters in the game.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I do really enjoy the art style. And I've never played any kind of detective or like
Mhm.
investigation game. Do you know how much this one costs?
It's £8.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of short games on your list. Do you tend to prefer shorter experiences in general so you can play more games, or do you like to like dive into a game for hundreds of hours? What's your typical
So
preference?
yeah, it really depends. I would say prior to starting the Cozy Gaming Club, I was more inclined to play sort of the longer games, the longer farming games. But since joining like starting the Cozy Gaming Club and now covering these games, I feel like I have to try and cover everything, which doesn't give me much time to really go deep into games and play a lot of them. So I find myself leaning more towards shorter games that I know I can complete and give a sort of succinct review on, whereas longer games like Echoes of the Plum Grove or Little Known Galaxy, I feel like I can't cover them properly because I don't have enough time in the day to play them all and give a good review or opinion on them.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I feel like most of the games I do play are these farming sim that take a very long time. And it is overwhelming when you try to review all of them, play all of them, because it's hard to give your opinion on a farming sim after just a few hours. Because sometimes in these games, it's a lot about progression and the game in the first few hours and the game after 10 hours and 30 hours. Usually it feels quite different. Um, which is why I really need to play more Lone Known Galaxy because I feel like I'm still at the beginning. Want to give it a bit more hours, a bit more of my time. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to be able to like dive into a game one day and finish it the same day and like jump to something else.
Yeah, and it's also really fun when you're playing it with your community and you can kind of experience the entire game together compared to when I'm playing a farming sim with my community, like Little Known Galaxy, for example. And I finish a stream and I really want to keep playing. And it's like, no, I have to wait for the next stream to continue playing it on stream. And that's really sad when all you want to do is keep playing.
That stuff. Honestly, I can't do that. When I stream games, I always play them in between streams. Yeah. Well, so these were our top games for the first half of 2024. So of Pixel Cross the Rev Seasons, Echoes of the Plum Grove, Little Known Galaxy, Endless Ocean, and Minami Lane, Little Kitty Big City, Duck, Detective, The Secret, Salami. So I think the year is going pretty well so far for Cozy Gamers, Cozy Games. But the year is not over. Are there any games you're looking forward to for the rest of 2024?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I can't believe you just
Just
sprung
pick
this on
one.
me. Fields of Mystery, I think, is one of the ones I'm looking forward to so much. It just looks exactly like a magical Stardew Valley would look, and I'm really excited for that.
I'm very excited for Fields of Mystery as well. I think it releases in early access in August.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before on the podcast. I think most are familiar with it. Me, one game I'm very much looking forward to is Fantasy Life
Mhm.
on the Nintendo Switch, which unfortunately you won't be able to play.
No.
This releases in October. That game has been delayed for so long. I was supposed to come out last year, and yeah, I can't wait to play it. I really enjoyed the first game on the 3DS. Have you played the first Fantasy Life?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, hopefully one day, maybe once you have the next Switch, you'll be able to. Hopefully, it will be backwards compatible and you'll get to play it.
Fingers crossed. And if not, I'll just have to watch your stream.
Exactly. All right, so next we will be covering some of the smaller news that have been announced this week. The first one being the DLC for Moonstone Island. They just released a free pool party DLC today to celebrate the beginning of summer. It's out on PC. It will be coming to the Switch very soon with a bigger update. And this gives you some cosmetic items, up to 14 different cosmetics items that you can use to decorate your island and your farm. And you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see them. And there's a pool, and you can actually use the pool to regenerate your health, which is very useful in that game because you can run out of health, run out of stamina quite quickly.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it's a free DLC. It's always nice to have some free DLC, and I will be. This just came out today, so I will make sure to be checking it out. I will make sure to check it out.
Yeah, it looks great. Moonstone Island is a great little game, and I've been looking at all of their cosmetic DLCs that they've added. They all look amazing, and I love that they've added a little free one.
They have a lot of cosmetic DLC. Yeah, I feel like this one. I like that it's free, and then maybe people will try the free one, and then they will start decorating, and they will feel like they need a little bit more, and then maybe they'll buy. Maybe that's why they're giving us a free one. But yeah, I do love that they're constantly updating the game, adding DLC, and adding more things for us to enjoy. Another game that is also doing pretty good in terms of like free updates is Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. Have you played a little bit of this game?
Yeah, I've played too much of this game.
Me too. Me too. If you're not familiar, this it's more like a productivity tool than a game. Basically, you have this character you can customize, and you're in a room, and your character is gonna be at their desk, like working, or on their bed, or like reading, or knitting, or something.
Yeah.
And then you can customize your house, customize your room. I mean, and you unlock little spirits, and basically you can have lo-fi music playing in the background. You also have like a to-do list, a Pomodoro timer. So it's really just something I have on my second monitor when I'm working on a video or working on something, and it helps me focus a little bit, helps me concentrate on my work. And yeah, it's a very cute, very fun, idle kind of lo-fi experience. And yeah, how has been your experience with Spirit City so
Great.
far?
I love having it on a second screen when I'm working on something else. I really like that you can sort of add sound effects as well. I love putting the sort of rain
Oh
thunderstorm
yeah,
sound
me too.
effect on while I'm working. It's just really satisfying. And also trying to find all the different spirits as well.
Yes, I love the different spirits. They all look so cute, and they will be adding more.
Mhm.
And so that's what I wanted to talk about very quickly today. So they just released a new little update, adding a few outfits, and they released a roadmap for 2024. So at the end of July or early August, in their next update, they will be adding like more furniture style, new wallpapers, new activities. Later this year, they'll keep adding new spirits, hairstyles, more activities, more stuff, more sounds. They will also upgrade their productivity tools a little bit, like the to-do list and everything. They'll make them a little bit more fleshed out. And I just love that we're getting so many free updates for all of these games.
Yeah, I think it's really nice that the devs are continuing to work on them even after the game has already been released. I saw they released a DLC today as well. I think it's called the Support a DLC, just a way to give them a little bit extra money to say thank you for the game. But one of the parts of that is that they've added new skins for all of the spirits that are sort of galaxy skins, which is really cool.
Yeah, I did see the supporter DLC. So I think it's about 7 Canadian dollars, maybe $5 US, or
Mhm.
£5 or something like that. And yeah, you get little galaxy themed skin for the spirits, and it's just a way to support the developers, because this game is also from like a pretty small team. I know they're based in Montreal, and the game itself is quite cheap, maybe $10 to
Yeah.
$15. It's definitely worth it if you're, especially if you're someone who struggles to focus on things, and like you need some background noise, or like you need like a little something to help you. Or yeah,
Yeah, I've
I
been
think
jumping between this one and Rusty's Retirement, if you've played that one.
I've not tried it yet.
It's a farming game. I am shocked.
I know. I'm scared that Rusty's Retirement will just distract me more than anything else, because it's at the bottom of your screen and there's lots of things moving. Whereas Spirit City, I put it on my other screen and there's not too much stuff moving. It's very mellow, it's very quiet. But I feel
Yeah.
like, how's your experience been with Rusty's Retirement?
So it has sort of lo-fi music like Spirit City, which is really nice. And although it doesn't have a Podemora timer or a to-do list, I really like it because you can sort of plant all your seeds and then you can't do anything else because you have to wait for them to grow. And I use that time to focus on my work, and then I come back and plant more seeds. And then while you're waiting for them to go, you go back to work again. So it is a bit like a Podemora timer in that sense. I just think it's really cute, and I love it.
I see. So when you work, do you keep it in the foreground when you work on something? So you're like always tempted to look at it?
So
You
I
know?
usually have it on my second monitor as well. So the
Oh,
same way I do Lo-Fi C.
yeah. I feel like that might be. Maybe I'll have to try it then and just put it on my second monitor. But I know if it's on my vision, I'll always like look at it, and I'm scared. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. There's one game that has been announced yesterday that I know you covered. You talked a little bit about it earlier, that you made a TikTok on that game, and it is Cattle Country. So, Cattle Country is basically a cowboy farming sim. So, yeah, it looks like a very typical farming sim, but it takes place in the far west, or I don't know where it takes place, but you're a cowboy. You've got your little cowboy hat. There's little like gun shooting. You're gonna fight some bandits. You're gonna. There's lots of animals. We're seeing some foxes in the footage right now. There's obviously lots of cows. You can ride around on your little horse. I saw in some other footage, I saw there's some like underground fights or something. It seems like there's lots of very interesting mechanics. The art style is very cute. It's pixel art. You can decorate your house. This game kind of came out. Well, it was announced yesterday, so it's a new reveal, but I'm very excited for it. It looks very interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one because for a similar reason to Little Known Galaxy, they really seem to be embracing sort of the thing that makes it different. So in another trailer, I don't think it's this one, there are loads of different events that they have. So they have line dancing, they have sort of bull riding, they have bull shows where like cattle shows where you compare the different cattle and whichever one's sort of the heaviest or the nicest and healthiest looking gets the best prize. So I really love that aspect of the game. And I'm also really intrigued by the mining as well, because like you said, it looks different from mining in Stardew Valley or other farming games.
Yeah, I was looking at the trailer we're seeing right now. And the mining is so the whole game is top down, but the mining is almost like Terraria, where it's like a platformer almost. Uh,
Mhm.
Side scroller, I mean, yeah, side scroller. So you go from left to right, and you have these bombs. You're using like bombs and dynamites to blow things up. It looks like a very unique, very different mining mechanic.
I was also going to say that, again, I don't think it's in this trailer, it might be in the other one. Um, it shows you where all the things are buried. So while you're sort of digging along and mining, you can say, oh, hey, there's a diamond. I'll dig towards that diamond, which is really cool and not something you can do in other farming games.
That's nice. Yeah, I feel like there's so many games that just copy the same mining mechanics all the time, like Stardew Valley, Coral Island, Sun Haven. They all have a little bit of differences, but in the end, the mining is kind of always the same thing. So I really like that they're doing something different here, and it seems like there's gonna be lots of festivals. There's seasons as well. We saw like a little Christmas themed thing going on, and I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on this one. It will release on Steam. I don't think there's any announcements for other platforms.
Not
Uh,
that I've seen.
yeah, it looks very cute. Will you be playing it?
Definitely. I think it looks really interesting.
Another game that looks interesting is Mika and the Witch's Mountain. They just announced a release date for this one. It's coming out August 21st for Steam and Switch. I've played the demo for this game. Basically, you're a witch. It's a bit inspired by Kiki's Delivery Service. I feel like you're like a new witch and you move to this little island and you deliver packages. And that's pretty much it. The demo was pretty short, but I love the atmosphere, like the graphics. It reminds me of Zelda Wind Waker a little bit with the cell shading, and It's just such a beautiful game. Flying around is fun. The demo is, as I said, like a little bit too short, so I feel like I don't have too many thoughts on the game. But I had a good time with it with the demo, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. Have you played the demo?
Yeah, I did, and I'm also very excited about it. I love the idea of this game, like being a little witch doing deliveries. I feel like we're getting a lot of mail delivery cozy games. Not that I'm complaining. I love it.
I love some delivery games, and I always love like vehicles or like driving in games, flying. So yeah, and I know you can like upgrade your broom to go faster. So like the broom you start with is very slow, and like it doesn't fly very well. But as you progress, you'll be able to upgrade it, get a better broom, and unlock like be able to reach new parts of the island. And as we're seeing in the trailer right now, it seems like there's gonna be almost like dungeons. Like you'll start in an old town, but there's gonna be a lot more places to explore as well. And one thing I loved in this game is that there was fishing, but for fishing, you have like a little fish bowl kind of hooked on your broom, and you just like dive down and like catch the fish, kind of like if you were a bird trying to catch a fish. I don't know, it was just I don't know if you'll do a lot of fishing, but I remember that part stood out to me in the demo, just the fishing with the fish bowl.
Yeah, it's such a unique way to do fishing in a game. It's really fun.
Yeah. Mika and the Witch's Mountain, August 21st on Steam and Switch.
August is getting quite busy already.
It is getting busy. There's so much going on. How do you keep track of all of these games that are coming out? Do you have a
I
calendar?
Yeah, I have a Google spreadsheet and I just add the game on as soon as I see it. I spend too much time on social media.
That's good because for me, I started a calendar and I was adding lots of games to it, and I stuck to it for like 1 week, and now I have a hard time keeping up with the calendar, so I just keep everything in my mind, in my head. So I'm a bit overwhelmed with all of the new releases right now, but there's a lot in August, September. The second half of the year is so packed.
Yeah.
There is so much. Another game we can expect to, I don't think it's going to be releasing this year, but we will get to all know a little bit more about it very soon, is Trade Tales. So this is a farming game they're going to do a Kickstarter starting on July 2nd. So next week. It's being made mostly by a solo developer. And what's unique about this farming game is that you get to run your own business. And that can be anything. That can be like a coffee shop, that can be like a grocery store, a clothing shop. So pretty much any items you can make in the game, you'll be able to open your shop, customize your shop. You'll also be able to have like a little factory to produce your goods. And it seems like a very ambitious game, but it does look very cute. And graphically reminds me a little bit of Harvest Moon Magical Melody with like the chibi characters. And yeah, of course there's farming as well. I'm just so excited. Do you know a little bit about this game? Have you heard about it before, or?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know much more than what you just said. So I'm excited to see when their Kickstarter page goes up because usually that gives a lot more information about the game.
Exactly. I'm so excited to know more about this game next week. And one of the reason I'm excited for this game, they're actually adding me as an NPC to the game. So I will be one of the characters you can meet and befriend in the game. So the developers reached out to me a few months ago, and they asked me if I was interested to like work on this together to like add me to the game. And so of course I'm gonna help them with some dialogues and like set up my character's likes and dislike, and we're gonna try to make that character represent myself as best as possible. But yeah, I'm just so
That is
excited to
so
be in a
cool.
game in a farming sim. And I think if you're watching on YouTube, um I think the character, like, they did a pretty good job. I think it's pretty similar, and they did my office with like my background and everything. So yeah, if you guys want to befriend me in the game, you'll have to play Trade Tales, and definitely keep an eye out. I will covered their Kickstarter campaign on my channel as well. Have a look at it. But yeah, we probably won't get to play this game for a while because I think it's early in development. But it's a very ambitious. Sometimes that scares me a little bit when a game is like so ambitious. They want to do so much. But so far, I like what I see. So I'm excited for Trade Tales launching on Kickstarter. But it's not the only game launching on Kickstarter next week. We also have Tiny Garden. Actually, I'm not sure if Tiny Garden is. Do you have the date for when this Kickstarter launches?
I think it's also the 2nd of July.
Okay, so maybe it's the 2nd as well. And this game, it's kind of like a farming sim mixed with like Polly Pocket.
Yeah.
It's very cute. And yeah, so you have this little like plastic thing and you build like a little garden inside of it. And it looks very interesting. Do you know, I think there was a demo for this game a while, was there?
I don't think it's out yet. I think there's a demo coming soon, maybe next week to coincide with a Kickstarter. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, so I think we'll have to, if there's a demo, I think we'll have to definitely check it out. It seems like there's going to be some maybe puzzle elements, like you'll have to place your crops a certain way. Like
yeah, I'm really intrigued by it. I want to know what the little windy thing does and how that changes the game. And also, can you expand your area, or do you just have to, are you contained to this tiny little circle with very few plots to plant your things? And also decorating, can you decorate the house part?
It is very tiny. Yeah, so on the bottom part, there's a garden. And then on the top part, there's a little house. So I'm assuming you can probably decorate the little house.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Maybe there's going to be different levels. Since it's so small, maybe each level will have different challenges and then it'll go from one thing to another. It's very mysterious. It's hard to have.
I think it's just so different.
It is so different. It's the kind of game you have to play it. I'm sorry for our audio listeners. It's probably even more mysterious for you. But keep an eye out for Tiny Garden. It should launch on Kickstarter soon. If you're looking for a fun twist on a farming sim with some like 90s toys vibes to it, I think this could be a fun little one. So lastly, the last bit of news for today, we have this Steam summer sale that started a few hours ago, and it's going on until July 11th. I've not had the time to look at it quite yet. Have you?
Not yet. I mean, it literally started about half an hour before we jumped on this podcast.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at it. Yeah, there's always tons of great deals during the Steam summer sale. So I'm always a little bit scared to actually open Steam during that time because I know I will spend money. I know I will buy a bunch of games, but there's always so many great deals as well. You were talking earlier about getting into the Story of Seasons series. There's probably Story of Seasons games on sales. Actually, let me verify right now. And it seems like most of their games are 50% off currently.
Oh.
So if you want to get into Story of Seasons, or I'm sure most of the games we talked about today, I'm sure a lot of them are on sale. So yeah, make sure you check out those sales and let us know in the comments if you're grabbing any good games. But yeah.
Am I okay to do a little self-promo?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
So I'll be doing my cozy game creator duty and putting together a video. I do this every sale, talking about games that are the cheapest they've ever been. So you can bag yourself a sale and know that you're getting a good one. So I'll be posting that tomorrow.
Definitely. You're quick. You're gonna be able to post that tomorrow.
Yeah. I usually work on it. Like normally I'd be doing it now, but I'll do it after this instead.
Sorry for delaying you, but I'll be looking forward to it and see what are your picks for the sale. So thank you so much for doing that. Will you be doing something on TikTok as well, or is that more for YouTube?
I'll be on YouTube, but I'll probably do a little roundup on TikTok too.
Amazing. So, if you listeners enjoyed this episode of the podcast, make sure you follow Ellie from the Cozy Gaming Club on all of her platforms. And thank you so much for listening. I know it's been a little bit more of a quieter week in terms of new releases and news, but we do need these quiet weeks to catch up on all of the great games that released in the first half of 2024. And that's pretty much it. Ellie, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Just a big thank you for inviting me onto the podcast today.
Well, thank you for accepting my invitation. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.